Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United make Cristiano Ronaldo transfer decision. We will not be pushing to re-sign Cristiano Ronaldo this summer. But according to 20 Sport, Cristiano Ronaldo is more likely to return to Manchester United than Real Madrid, because Real Madrid are looking to get Kylian Mbappe from PSG. Reports in Spain have said this week that Cristiano Ronaldo could make a sensational return to Real Madrid, and it says Juventus are willing to accept just £25 million. Cristiano Ronaldo endured 6 years at Manchester United. He was with us from 2003 to 2009. During his time at the club, he won 3 Premier League titles. He won the Champions League. He won a couple of League Cups. And he won the FA Cup. When we did get Cristiano Ronaldo, we paid £12 million for him from Sporting Lisbon. We sold him to Real Madrid in 2009. We got £80 million for him. He was at Real Madrid for like 10 years. And Juventus got him in 2018 for £100 million. He's got a contract with Juventus until 2022. Ronaldo is regarded as the best player in the world. He's won 5 Ballon d'Ors and he's won 31 trophies in his playing career. And he's scored more hat-tricks than any other player in this century. So, there you go. I don't see Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United. I'd certainly take him back, but look how old he is now. He's 36 years of age. Now, I want to give you some news on Declan Rice. So, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has agreed with John Murtough and Darren Fletcher that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for Manchester United. West Ham are demanding £80 million. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that West Ham were considering lowering their asking price for Declan Rice to £50 million. He was heavily linked with a move to Chelsea last year. That's obviously when Frank Lampard was in charge, and Frank Lampard was infuriated when he missed out on Declan Rice because it was his top target. I'd certainly take Declan Rice at Manchester United. Main explanations is because he's young, he's got a lot of development in him, his performances for West Ham have been outstanding, and he is well Premier League proven, and he's predominantly a holding midfielder. And he breaks up the play well. He can also be deployed as a centre-half. We're seeing Declan Rice as a long-term replacement for Nemanja Matic. Declan Rice has been at West Ham for like 7 years now. He's made 127 appearances in the Premier League and he's scored 4 goals. He's under contract with West Ham until 2024. Before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years, but he never got into their first team squad. Now, Erling Haaland, he's our centre-forward transfer priority. Erling Haaland is demanding wages of £350,000 a week from his next club. Borussia Dortmund recently gave us an update on his future. Borussia Dortmund's sporting director Michael Zorg says Dortmund are prioritising finishing in the top 4 in order to keep Erling Haaland. It'd be good to see Solskjaer reunite with the player, because Solskjaer knows Erling Haaland really well. Solskjaer was the one that gave him his debut at just the age of 16 at Molde. Back in December 2019, Solskjaer and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United, and earlier on this season Solskjaer came out and said that he's following Erling Haaland's progress, and he said he's keeping in touch with Erling Haaland. And Rio Ferdinand's come out and said we need to do everything we can to get Erling Haaland in, because he's the type of calibre player that Man United need, because he would assure us goals. I think Dortmund are demanding in the excess of £100 million. He has a release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. Haaland has been at Dortmund around 15 months. Since his arrival at Dortmund, he's been a revelation. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. He's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. But there's been so many clubs in for him. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer thinks looking to strengthen up in 4 positions. Solskjaer's set to have his final say on our transfer incoming deals. I think Solskjaer is going to get the backing he deserves in the summer, because obviously we've got a director of football in John Murtough. He's our first ever director of football, and I did say, didn't I, that we need a director of football because it's one of the structural changes that we need at the club. And plus John Murtough knows the club inside out, because he's been at Man United for like 7 or 8 years. And Darren Fletcher is the technical director. So yeah, they've had the transfer summit. Solskjaer's obviously sat down with Fletcher and Murtough to discuss our transfer targets and our summer transfer plans in general. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. So far he's endured 4 transfer windows, and he's spent almost £300 million. You know, he has made some good signings, but as yet, he hasn't got all the players that he wanted to recommend in. And in that aspect, the blame stems from the board, because the board has been one of the biggest issues at the club for a while, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've overpaid for players. And the managers that we've had haven't got the players that they wanted to recommend in. But Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ollie, and even enjoying them bad periods, he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe, because our board have a soft stance on Solskjaer, with him being a club legend. Our transfer budget has been revealed. It's £80 million. And in that aspect, that's surprised a lot of Manchester United fans. But we are looking to sell players in the summer transfer window, so we will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. It recently said Solskjaer's planning to sell 4 players to bolster our transfer budget, and he's hoping to raise an extra £60 million. So that would take our transfer budget to £140 million. We're going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. You know, I think there's a good chance that Juan Mata will leave the football club because Juan Mata doesn't get into our 11. But he's done well in the games he's been involved in. Juan Mata's current contract expires in the summer. These an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Earlier on this season, Mata rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Juan Mata's had a good career at Man United, though he's been at the club over 6 years. We got him under the David Moyes era. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Edinson Cavani, there's a good chance he'll depart the club in the summer, because Solskjaer recently said that Cavani's closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Man United. But prior to that, he said that Cavani's future has not been decided. His father came out not so long ago and said that he's unhappy at the club because he's not comfortable in England, and he said he will leave Man United. Now, reports in Argentina said that Cavani wants to leave Man United after 1 season, and he wants to join Boca Juniors on a 3-year contract. Earlier on this season, it actually said Cavani wanted to stay at Man United beyond this season, and Solskjaer said he was set for contract extension talks. He hasn't been playing recently because he's been out of injury, but the good news is from Man United perspective, he's been back in training, so probably will be involved in the game against Milan tomorrow. We got Cavani on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. Nemanja Matic, we could sell him in the summer because he's not one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. And as you all know, I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a slow player, and plus he's ageing up. Matic has been at the club almost 4 years. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Anthony Martial, there's a lot of Man United fans that are saying we should sell him in the summer, because for the vast majority of this season, Anthony Martial has been out of form. He's had chances, but he hasn't converted them. But Solskjaer said earlier on this season that he's backing Martial to rediscover his form, and he said he's been happy with his work rate. Martial was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. He's been at the club over 5 years now. He's recently been out with a hip injury. Phil Jones, I'm expecting him to leave this year because he doesn't get in our 11. Jones has been a long servant at Man United. This is his 10th season at the club. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's been out of injury for over a year. Should Man United sell Victor Lindelof in the summer? Because I've got my strong reservations about him, and I think him and Maguire don't complement each other in our back line. Lindelof's been at the club quite a few years now. We got him in a deal worth £31 million from Benfica. There's a good chance that we'll sell David De Gea in the summer. so we can make Dean Henderson our first choice goalkeeper. And like I've said in regards to Dean Henderson, I think he's reliable enough now to become our number one, because he has got that experience behind him and he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United, and he's done well in the games he's played in this season. But recent narratives said of in regards to De Gea that we are willing to listen to offers. We sell De Gea in the summer, I reckon we'd get around £50 million. Hasn't been playing in recent games because not so long ago he was out due to personal reasons. But obviously now he's back in Manchester and he's been self-isolating. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer did warn De Gea that his number 1 jersey is under threat. De Gea's endured 10 years, is it, at Manchester United? I think he's probably had 7.5, 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world, but in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes, and reflecting on that, he's become a liability. But De Gea's won everything domestically at the football club. I think there's a good chance he'll go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain, and he began his footballing career in Spain. And back in 2015, he was close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised. Now, you know the news on Donny van der Beek. There was narratives coming out yesterday saying that Donny van der Beek wants to quit Man United after 1 season. This is due to the lack of game time. And apparently Van der Beek said he wants showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. Now Ronaldo has come out and says that he's not panicking over his lack of game time and he feels loved at Manchester United. But earlier on this season, Ronald de Boer actually urged Van der Beek to leave to boost his chances for the Euros. ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van der Beek. We was reluctant to let him go. Most of Donny van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. Solskjaer made an admission himself earlier on this season saying that Van der Beek's unhappy at the club due to his lack of game time, but he promised him more game time at Man United. We got him in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front and there was £5 million in add-ons. And he's versatile because he can play in 3 different roles. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as you all know, he's agreed to sign a new contract worth £9 million a year. So he's been given a pay rise. Sources at Old Trafford have already said that talks are set to begin any day on the new deal, because later on this month, Solskjaer enters the final year of his 3-year contract. I think Solskjaer does deserve a new contract, reflecting on the progress he's made. Earlier on this season, it said that Solskjaer's future was in doubt because he admitted that nobody had spoke to him over a new contract, and it actually said we'll wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. Like I've already said in regards to Ole, I don't think he's a long-term manager for Man United. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm being realistic. But I think Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at the football club. Solskjaer has got to exceed his expectations if he's to succeed as Man United manager. Solskjaer must win a trophy this year at Man United because he's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. And a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. The Europa League is a chance of a trophy, and the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy. We know we're not going to win the Premier League. We disregarded that a while ago. I don't know when we're next going to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. But obviously top 4 is our aim now in the league. I can assure we will finish in the top 4, reflecting on that 1-0 win against West Ham recently. If we win a trophy this season and we get second place, I'll turn around and say that represents a good season for Man United, and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. When we have been inconsistent, no, some of the blame stemmed from Solskjaer, but not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. It's never all the manager's fault. Told you my biggest concerns about Ole already. But reflecting now on his being at the football club, he has gained some managerial experience and he has learnt quite a bit on the job. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Because before he was with us, he was at Molde. Won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. And his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But there has been a lot of United fans demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the club. Won't be able to sack him now anyway because there's no one available to replace him. If we do eventually sack Solskjaer, who would come in to replace him? But I've probably got to turn around and say that he is our best manager since Sir Alex Ferguson. Because we've enjoyed some very good periods under Ole where we have seen consistency and where he has got the best out of the team in some games and he's improved certain players. We've got to credit Solskjaer in quite a few aspects. He's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals, got us to the Europa League last 16, got us to second in the Premier League. At one point he got us top, that's when we was in the title race. This season got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. Did well last season in his first full season at the club. Got us to 3 semi-finals, got us a 3rd place finish and got us qualification for the Champions League. Also went on a 19-game unbeaten run in all competitions last season. We was 14 unbeaten in the Premier League. And Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in. But I think we did give Solskjaer the job too early. Maybe we should have waited until the end of that season to decide or not whether to give him the job. But we give him the job permanently because he did very, very well, didn't he? As the interim manager, he won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions. A lot of United fans have said, Solskjaer's in a position he shouldn't be in. People are saying, the club is too big for him to manage despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. But we've made mistakes in general in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. We've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years. We've only won 4 trophies since Ferguson retired. The FA Cup under Van Gaal, and the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield under Jose Mourinho. But we have got some good players at Man United, and there's players that are improving. Dean Henderson, he's done well in the games he's played in this season. Luke Shaw, he's been absolutely immense this season. Luke Shaw's had a good career at Man United apart from his injuries. Shaw's been at the club over 6 years. Still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Eric Bailly, I've been impressed with him in the games he's played in this season. Solskjaer did recently confirm that we've been in talks with Eric Bailly over a new contract. The only element of concern about Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. You know, and Wan-Bissaka, he's done well in some games this season. Fred, you know, he's improving as well. Was getting the best out of Paul Pogba before he got that thigh injury. The good news is now from Man United perspective, Pogba's back because he has been training ahead of the game against AC Milan. Tominway's also a decent player. Still young, got a lot of development in him. Fernandes, you know, he's made a difference since he's come to Man United. You know, Marcus Rashford, you know, he's done very, very well. You know, Greenwood's done well since he broke into our first team squad. You know, Cavani's made a fantastic impact since he's coming. So, like I said, analysing that squad, it's good enough to finish at least in the top 4, but obviously isn't good enough to win the Premier League as yet. So on my next video, I will be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of our game against Milan. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.